broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Welcome back. It is season 2 of BET's Being Mary Jane. We are here recapping it again on AFTERBUZZ TV. I am your host, Megan Thomas. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Meg Scoop. And who are you ladies?
Well, I am Fahnia Thomas. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fahnia Thomas.
And I'm Ashley Gray. Make sure that you follow me on Ashley Gray TV on both Instagram and Twitter.
Yes! And Tiana's also back, but it's her birthday. Hey, boo!
Happy birthday,
Tiana!
Turn up, turn up!
Turn up!
So she's turning up. She'll be back next week, guys. But as always, make sure you follow AFTERBUZZ TV on iCloud. What is it? No, I got that so wrong.
Read the script,
iTunes, iTunes, SoundCloud, and on YouTube, youtube.com/AFTERBUZZ TV. Make sure you subscribe. There's a billion shows on there, including this one. And if you want to talk to us while you're watching this, just make sure you hashtag us ABTVBMJ, and we'll see your tweets. And we'll
What
probably
was that
shout you.
again? What's the hashtag?
ABTVBMJ.
Yes.
If you want to hashtag us, we'll read your
And where do they
comments.
go to do that at? To see
Twitter.
that at?
Twitter.
I love that. What about
Twitter.
AfterBuzzTV.com? What do they do there?
You can watch us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go to AfterBuzzTV.com. Ha ha.
Like right now they can watch us?
Like right
You can see us there? I love that.
Okay, so let's get into the new season of Being Mary Jane. What did you guys think about this new episode?
Well, before we
got
get
liquor on
into
the table.
it, we need to open up our bottle of liquor. Fahnia.
Everybody, for all of you MJB fans, I'm sure you all know that Gabrielle Union has her own wine line, and it is vanilla pudding. Not pudding,
Yes.
pudding, I-N, because that's how she rolls. So we're going to crack this Chardonnay open to toast and cheers to season 2.
And we're
of
gonna let y'all
Being
know
Mary Jane.
we're gonna let y'all know how it is.
Yes, I would not be a gracious person if I served myself first.
Aren't you too kind?
Right? And for Miss Marissa, our engineer, we have some for you to hear as well, darling.
And we're also gonna toast to Tiante's birthday.
Beyonce's birthday. Cheers.
Happy birthday!
Let's
Let's
see.
see. What you're supposed to do? You're supposed to swirl it. Oh, Megan chugged it.
Oh,
Megan
this is
chugged it.
good.
You're supposed to swirl it.
Girl,
Smell
this is
it.
called vanilla pudding.
Drink
We
your
ain't gotta
water.
do it fancy. It's called pudding, girl.
on.
It's really good.
It went down the wrong pipe.
Oh, that's tasty.
Right.
Oh, cheers to Gabrielle Union. Get it. You guys should be having some
I'm
of this
scared
every
now.
Tuesday. This is the official drink of Tuesday night.
It is. I feel bad for choking on her, but I really did chug it down the wrong throat.
That was operator error. It has nothing to do with this Napa Valley Chardonnay. So shout out to
It's
Vanilla
actually-
Pudding.
It is really good.
You can
It's
get
really
it
good.
at I forget. It's not at all wine stores. I'll
Okay.
figure it out. I'll let you know.
But it
Stand by.
doesn't taste like vanilla pudding, so don't think that you're about to get a cupcake. It's a Chardonnay.
It kind of does taste like
It's
a cupcake,
sweet.
though.
I mean, yeah, it's sweet, but it's not like a Riesling sweet. It's good though. I like it.
It's tasty.
Okay, so make sure y'all get y'all some vanilla pudding. So while we sip on our pudding, what's the tea? What's the wine, ladies? What do you think about this season so far?
I feel like it's gonna be like Post-it Tuesdays because this it is. It's gonna be Post-it Tuesdays realness. It's gonna be going up on a Tuesday. It is. It was great from beginning to end. It really is hashtag still unraveling. Like from moment to moment, she was unraveling, and I love it.
I really love that we saw a member, like every member of the cast, we saw in the first episode, except for the dad. We didn't see the dad this episode, but it was really great to kind of reconnect with everyone, see everyone's face again. A shout out to Aaron D. Spears. Absolutely love him. The entire cast is amazing, and it was just really great to see them again. I'm now in love with Tuesdays all over again.
Right. It's time again for this amazing show. And so then we start the episode off. Mary Jane comes back, and as we recall from the last season, she went to David's house. And the scene closed. They were reading a baby book, honey. So we know David is having a baby. But Mary Jane doesn't know this yet. And so she comes home and she feeds her little fish, Starsky. What did you think she was going to do with the fish before she threw it out the window?
Literally take it outside to watch the trees. Wait, can we rewind for a moment? I really related to her when she walked in the house and took off her clothes.
That's what every woman does. They take off their bra first,
shoes,
and then they take off their pants. So that was definitely a relatable moment. I was like, tonight I'm gonna go home, snatch this bra
but you
off.
felt right. You feel it as you're watching this. You're like, well, I know that feeling. You take your bra off and you're like, ooh, yes. Take the pants off. You just walk around with your shirt and undies. You just know the feeling. So yes, she throws the fish out of the window. You see she's breaking.
Which I think was kind of cruel. Like that poor fish. Then they zoomed in on him. I'm like, why are we gonna zoom in on the poor? That was Nemo's cousin.
Right.
Why did they do that to Nemo's cousin? I felt for the fish. I was really sad.
I know there's gonna be like ASPCA people or like PETA like boycotting Mary Jane for the assault of a fish.
Hopefully it was a fake fish and no fish were hurt in the making
Girl,
of
no
the
fish.
episode.
A fish was hurt. A fish was definitely fish down. Fish down.
But I like how it was Starsky and Hutch and how it related to like her love life and what she's going through. And I'm sorry, that fish house, that fish bowl was off the hook.
You don't throw that out a window, Mary Jane.
That fish bowl looked better than some people's apartments.
At first, I thought it was like some kind of model, like she was going to buy a house, and this was a model of the house that she was buying. And I was like, who is she talking to? Like, is she talking to the model? And then I saw the poor little fish. She started feeding something, so I thought it was a spider. I don't know why I thought it was a spider.
Oh my gosh.
And then all of a sudden, I see this fish, and I'm like, oh, Nemo. I was sad.
I know. I was sad. She's killing fish out here in these streets. So then, of course, she has a dinner party, and she invites some of her closest friends.
Actually, not closest friends, because those are David's friends.
Well, apparently she made it seem like she was cool with them still, which I think was kind of shysty. Okay, so we see that they're having some discussions. They're having some discussions about what educated Black people do at dinner parties. We talk about the Black race and how the advancement of Black people, which I was laughing because I was like, I've been to plenty of these parties.
Right.
Well, I really appreciated the discussion because they talked about education, they talked about politics, they talked about social class, and it's really refreshing to hear that, especially on a show like this. And it gives you a peek inside of dinner parties. Like, we don't all just turn up and get ratchet. I mean, we do after a couple of drinks, but it starts off very educational.
Right. One of the things that resonated with me during the dinner party conversation was that you be African American at home, and then when you walk outside, you get your money. You know, when you're part of America, you be American when you go outside.
Right.
Do you
agree with
that?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. I feel like I wake up Black, I go to sleep Black, everywhere I go, I'm Black. So I'm not going to I can't put on a mask. Like, I'm Black, and I'm proud of that. So why would I try and tone it down or try and be a certain way when I step out of my door?
I don't think everybody's Blackness is at a certain level. I think, like, with all things, there's different levels.
So you mean a ratchet person needs to tone it down a little bit?
It's kind of like being a freak in the sheets, but you know what I mean? Like, seriously.
What?
Like, you don't have to always be at volume 10 at all times in life. You know what? You do turn the volume down. You adjust accordingly.
So, so basically what? She was trying to say that Black people are too ratchet. Don't be ratchet out. Like, because essentially that's what she was saying. Don't be your natural ratchet selves, Black people, when you step outside.
No, there's a time and place. I took it as there's a time and place. If I'm in corporate America and I'm sitting in and talking about a $1 billion contract, I'm going to go to my educated self, and that's who's going to be represented at the table, not my turn up Tuesday on the dance floor.
Well, one thing that I did find interesting, Lisa's character is the one who said this, right?
Right.
And she ain't Black. So how
No.
you gonna tell me what to do?
And that was the other part when
Right.
it's coming from
Yeah.
a non-African American.
And then, but that's why she was like, what? Because of course she says you people, and so everybody's like, what you people? She was like, my butt is African, like, so she
that was an insult.
Latina.
Don't you think that was an insult?
I don't take kindly when other people who are non-African American speak about African American things. No, stay in your lane. You want to talk about Latina stuff? Not a problem.
I
She
just think
can't. She
that
doesn't have a comment or an opinion about black people. In
I think that within that circle, of course, there is going to be discourse that's very, the banter back and forth, and
Right.
it's friendly. But from an outside perspective, me watching the show, I'm like, no. But if it was the homie, and then someone said that, I'd be like, girl, you funny. I would have
Right.
laughed.
Right.
So I get it. I loved it. I thought it was very comical.
Right.
So,
And we
no
all
harm,
have
no
those
foul.
friends of
We do.
different backgrounds who can get away with, making
Right.
commentary like
Everything but saying an N-word. Try me if you want to.
So then, of course, they talk about how the whole education field, how they feel like we failed. Basically, we got everything handed to us. So what's left? And then there was also talk about the church and how we tried to pin everything on waiting on Jesus. Do you guys think that's true?
I'm still
Do you think
waiting on God.
as black people, do you think we do that too much?
No,
No.
I think that especially during the slavery era, we did depend a lot on our faith, and that carried over from generation to generation to generation. So we do have we have a rich religious culture,
Right.
And that's what it is. It's
It's
nothing
tradition.
like it's not. Oh, I'm not going to work because I'm waiting on God to bless me with that perfect job. No, I'm going to work and then have faith that God will give me something even better and even better.
But I
So-
think that's what she was talking about. I think Val, their friend, I think that's what she was meaning when she said we wait on Jesus too much. I think there's a lot of people who don't believe that the works. They're just literally waiting. Like, I'm just going to sit here and wait. So I see what she's saying about that.
Yeah.
But of course, Dr. LaTarsha Rose, what's her name on the show? Because I know her real name, LaTarsha. we know everybody's real name.
That's
Yes,
stand by for that.
yes, the doctor, of course, is like, no, we got to give the black church credit because that's been a cornerstone of black culture.
Yeah.
And so, of course, and they also talk about Chris Spencer, who plays Chris on the show, which is really funny that he has the same name. He said that black people are, we are the reason that this country is flourishing. We built the infrastructure. What do you think?
I agree with that. I really feel that. Oh, and shout out to LaTarsha Rose. Her character's name is Lisa Hudson
yes, Dr.
on the
Lisa.
show. But I definitely do agree with Chris. I feel like America was built on the backs of slaves.
Right.
And whether people want to acknowledge it or not, it's American history. And it is what it is. Happy Black History Month to my fellow African Americans. Actually, happy Black History Month to everyone
Everybody.
living in America, because Black history is American history.
Amen. You
Shout
better
out
say
to
that.
Chris and Chris.
Chris
On it,
Spencer.
Chris's
Yes.
character.
And someone also made the comment of African Americans have lost their spirit. I don't feel that that's totally the case.
Here's what I think. I think we've been handed a lot, so there's not just like.
Handed what?
No, let me tell you what I'm saying. So like, just like BJ's character says, he says that as black people, like there's no more frontiers. And if you think about it, it's kind of true. We don't have to. We can get on any bus and sit where we want. We can sit anywhere in a restaurant.
It wasn't handed to us. It was, and that's where I disagree. I feel like I do agree that Black people, African Americans, have lost their spirit because they feel a lot of like the millennials, people my age, we didn't go through that stuff.
Right.
So we don't really relate to it. But as far as stuff getting handed to us, my people, my ancestors, nothing was handed to them.
Right.
They fought. They were very spirited people. They went out and they protested, and they literally lost their lives
Right.
for us. So it wasn't handed to
No, I
us,
think
and we're not spirited anymore.
Right.
Like when recently we have been in relation to Ferguson and Garner and things like that, but no, we have lost our spirit.
I think what's happening is the people that do have their spirit, their sound and noise is being drowned out by all the ratchetness and what
Right.
pop
Oh,
culture and what
yes.
America likes to focus on.
The distractions.
So I think they're still out there, but right now they're not the focus.
Right.
Unless
That's
something
true.
tragic happens, and then
Yeah.
it's like we all have to
Let's
rally
rally
together.
up. Yeah.
Right. And of course, he says that we as Black people should be rallying together to fight causes like putting our money together for lobbyists to make medical marijuana legal
That's
in
the
the state of
problem.
Georgia, where they live.
It's a cause. At least he's fighting for something, you know.
Of course, the
If there's
drug
a
dealer boy.
Right? There's a might as well make his illegal job legal
Right.
in some way.
Right.
I just think that a lot of time and effort can be put into something a little bit more positive than legalizing marijuana.
It happened in Colorado.
I definitely agree that there is a market for that, but I feel that don't limit yourself. There's limitless possibilities. Why put yourself in this box and be like, oh, well, weed is going to be my way to go because this is all that I know. That shouldn't be all that you know. And I think that in this season, his character is going to, we're going to see his character develop.
Right.
And it's not going to be all about just selling weed and smoking weed and dealing weed and
No, we saw he was in school, right? He was in. Hopefully, he'll
Was he?
graduate. Yeah.
Did he drop out? Did he
Hopefully
get his
he'll-
degree? Does he have his high school diploma?
Oh my gosh, Ashley!
We don't know.
Can we talk about the shade that was thrown at Val during
Yes.
this party? Because I wasn't ready.
That was so. Of course, this is what happens when people start drinking a little much. You know, it starts getting later in the night at the dinner party, and then the lips start to fly. And
When
say
the
what they really
vanilla
think.
pudding is gone, this
Yes,
is what happens.
This is what happens. And so, Val tries to kind of clear the air and talks about this show that she saw with these ducklings, and the mom had to leave the duckling behind. I was confused. How did that make sense, or how did that relate to what Mary Jane was saying about her brothers?
It made sense to Val.
Like what Mary Jane said, basically that her brothers are left behind. Like, it's survival of the fittest, and the mom basically is leaving the brothers behind. That's how she sees it.
Right.
That's not how Mary Jane or maybe their mom sees it, but that was Val's takeaway.
Okay. So, of course, did you think that Mary Jane was right to check her like that?
I sure did.
Yes. Yes, please do not come for me unless you are announced, honey. It's just not, the comparison was just, to me, it had no relevance. I mean, yes, it made sense to Val, but it could have been something. She could have come up with something else. She's very educated. I'm pretty sure she could have made another reference. And no.
Wrong timing. I think the timing was just all like,
You know what? I took it as she was trying to cut the tension. And she was like, okay, it's getting really thick in here. So let me tell you
make
about
them
this
joke.
story. But
Right,
I don't think
joke.
she's funny. Like, she probably isn't funny. So she thought, this is going to clear the air a little bit. And it was yes, it was horrible. But I think Mary Jane went a little too hard at her. But we find out why, because Mary Jane is really jealous of her. And Mary Jane says that.
believe that?
No,
No,
I
that's-
think
that's
that
absolutely true.
No way. I think that was her trying to get information from Val
Yes.
and to try and soften her up to get what she wanted. But I don't even see the comparison. I see Val and I see Mary Jane. They're both in their own lanes and they're both successful, but at different things. And there's no reason for either one of them, especially Mary Jane, to be jealous of Val.
No, I think because here's the thing.
Inconceivable.
I just feel like, because if you look at Mary Jane's character, she wants to be married. She wants to have somebody that she can call her own. She wants to be a mom. She wants to be, but she doesn't put it out there like that, because then in her field, that makes her look weak. So deep down inside, I think she really does want what Val has.
I think Val serves a purpose of intel, and that is
Yeah.
it, because she is the link to David, and that's it. I mean, she's just there to spill the tea when she needs it, and that's why when we saw her, arrive at her doorstep late at night when she has children, because this is the first time we're meeting Val and Chris. Like,
Yeah.
we were both like, who is she?
Who are they?
Like,
Right.
Like, what?
And another thing, I feel like Mary Jane just discovered this passion and this, I want this. I want a kid. I want to get married. I want to be with David. I think that this is going to wear off. Every woman and man, for that matter, when you're in a really, you have a strong connection with someone and you want to be with them, when you guys break up, you're going to take it hard. I don't think that Mary Jane really is ready for the commitment that she thinks she's ready for right now. So yeah, seeing her and Val and Chris together may kind of push it a little bit, like, this is really what I really want. But all of this just started happening.
But see, I don't think, because she freaking took the man's sperm and put it in the freezer.
But
like,
she
who
was
does that?
She was also doing homeboy.
Yeah.
Right,
Like-
which I agree with you. I don't think she's ready for the commitment that she thinks she's ready for. But in her head, she think she's
She
ready
just
for it.
wants it because David is now with someone else who happens to be white, which is a whole nother topic. And I think that just pushed another button. It's like, okay, he's with another woman. Wait, and she white? Push. And she pregnant? Push. Just saying.
She also did say, like, I want your Instagram life, which, as we all know, is not reality.
Exactly.
They may appear to be the perfect couple, but that's not the case. And she even said, oh, you didn't hear the fight that we had on the way here. So I think everybody wants the idea of having the perfect life and the perfect husband and the perfect kids and the perfect job.
Right.
That's not true. It is. It's Instagram. It's the life you live on Instagram.
Yeah.
Not the case. Now, going back to these buttons that are being pushed, her brother said something that was very piercing to, I think we all gasped while we were watching it, that is why he is now with a white lady.
Right.
Like, ooh. Do you guys really think that guys feel as if the African American women are too spicy?
I know that for a fact.
Yeah, of course.
I was told that all throughout undergrad. There wasn't a lot of black ladies on my campus, and there was a handful of black men, and they would always be like, yeah, Ashley, you just have too much sass. You are too...
Like, you're not five. 5-year-olds are sassy.
You're too spirited. You're too colorful. You're too this and that. But the white boys, though, loved it.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like,
So,
like
so then should we be mad about that then? Or should we be like, okay, because I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Exactly.
Well, that, and I don't find that to be the case. There has yet to be an African American male that's been like, oh my God, I can't handle you too much.
Right.
Because I'm black. Like, that's, so I'm just kind of like, I don't know that life, not to say that doesn't exist. But I'm just like,
I think what they do is they make a connection between your attitude and your blackness. I don't think it's necessarily because you're black, like, oh wait, I'm not going to talk to her because you're black. It's like when I open up my mouth and I give you something and I'm not necessarily passive, and it's like, oh, you say something, let me check you on that, boo.
Right.
It's more so like, oh, you too much for me. I'm just gonna go ahead and go with her, Becky. And
I knew that was coming.
There's always a Becky.
Coming out tonight.
There's always a Becky. And I really think I think it's because people, the characteristics that we as black women have to have, which is, we have to be on our stuff. We have to be go-getters. We have to, a lot of times we have to be in charge of stuff. We have to lead stuff because a lot of times we have to lead in our homes. We might have single mothers who we saw had to be mom and dad and the breadwinner and the teacher and the cook and like everything. So as especially black women, we've learned to be very strong. But the problem is a lot of men, especially nowadays, cannot deal with that because they're not really like the men of old, you know what I mean? So then you see a woman who has these strong qualities, you're not trying to deal with that. I get it. There's a lot. And then there's some black women, especially we don't know the fine line. We've got to go out here and be like aggressive dogs to like get, attack. That's how
we
that's
have two
for
strikes.
survival.
One, we're females, so we have that, we have that. And then on top of that, we're African Americans.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So of course, when he says that stung. I think every black woman was like, "Oh, did he just say that about? That's why David went with the white lady."
Which I don't think is the case. I think that it was just chance happening, and they hooked up, and then he got her pregnant, and he decided to, I want to do this right.
I cannot wait till we find out what happened. Like, how come the baby's staying? I can't wait till we get into all that.
I think we know.
If she's pregnant, because they're going to the doctor's appointment next week.
Right.
So we don't know if homegirl is having a little homie
or homegirl.
We don't
I
know
love
yet.
how you put that though. We sure don't. So that is going to be interesting to see. And I also want to say that I think Mary Jane is foul for like really just using Val and Chris. Like, you're not friends with them. You're not friends with them. Stop being so foul. And I don't understand why why they're nice enough to let Mary Jane into their home. Like, why y'all know she don't like y'all.
She was so rude this episode.
Very rude.
Like, why is she like, this is a side of Mary Jane that I kind of witnessed towards the end of the first season.
Right.
But this episode, I was like, ooh, clutches pearls. I think I would have had to snatch her.
But that's
this
where she's at
episode.
right now. She's at a place of hurting people because she's hurting.
Yeah, that's
hurting
true.
people hurt people. Right now, she's on a tirade. She's not happy. She's heartbroken. So she's on a rampage. So I expect this behavior from her. I mean, she threw a
Actually-
fishbowl out her own window.
Right.
I do
Cuckoo.
not expect this behavior from Mary Jane. That's why I was so shocked, because she's always so put together, which we know people who are normally, they present themselves as put together, are not necessarily, put together. But I just didn't expect this from her.
No, you know why? She's beautifully flawed.
Ooh. love
Yes.
it.
That's
Hashtag.
why. Hashtag she's beautifully flawed. Like, she has it together in other areas of her life, which she let her brother know at the party. But yet this one area is just chaos.
Yeah.
Which makes her so relatable. Which is
Right,
like,
right.
girl,
This whole
love that.
episode, I was like, "Ooh, I'll be doing that. Ooh, I'll be doing that." Like, okay,
Right,
I have
like
a question. I have a question for you, ladies. Have you ever broken up with a guy who you were really interested in? You guys broke up. Don't talk to him anymore, but you still have his text messages in his phone, in your phone, and you just go through them just to read the
Man.
conversation over and over. Have you ever done it, Fahnia?
Yeah.
I've done it.
Me too. I was like, "Ooh, I've done that."
Yes,
I'll take
and
it
then-
a step further where you delete all this stuff, right? I'm going to delete the contacts. I don't have the number. And then there'll be like 1 a.m. somewhere on some random day, and you're calling your cell phone company. You're looking online to find that number, your last call. No?
I've
That's
done
you.
it. I've done it. I'm not going to lie. I've done it before. I am a hopeless romantic, and when I feel like there just may be a glimmer of hope, I go the extra mile.
And no, how about Facebook stalking your
Oh.
ex? I was laughing. I was like, okay, Facebook stalk, and then you like also Facebook stalk the woman he's with. It's like,
Where you
what she
end up
got?
on the sister, grandma, cousin,
Right.
nephew page, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter,
Right.
LinkedIn, Snapchat, Vine. Oh yes.
But Nia know them all.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah.
am a Google fanatic. I can use a search engine.
I know you can, honey. You can find anything in a heartbeat. As we're talking about it, she'd be like, what you mean this? Like, we know how you do. Yes, let us know about your crazy. Make sure you hashtag us ABTVBMJ with your comments.
So good.
Do you do any of these things that Mary Jane is doing? I'm sure you do. Don't lie. Go ahead and tweet us.
See, ABT, come on now, send me some. I'm looking. I am paying attention. I'm not on my phone just for shits and giggles.
Right.
But
We want to see your
I'm
tweets.
trying to talk to y'all.
So then let's talk about Niecy.
Well, let me give you
So
some.
Niecy is with her grandmother. She's staying at the house, at the family's house, and she's talking to her homegirl, and grandma comes in and checks her.
Which she should have checked her.
Checks her
Yes.
hard. Did you think it was a little bit too harsh?
Not at all.
Nope.
Not at all. What she said, she had so many valid points, I stopped counting.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Like, come on, I'm paying the bills. You're just laying around the house. You have 2 kids. You don't have a job. Congratulations. You want to go to school. I appreciate that. However, what are you doing until then? I think that a lot of people do, especially young people, they depend on grandmothers, grandparents, moms to take care of them, and they use like every excuse in the world to get out of it. And if it was me, I would have been kicked her out. Like, look, you have to go. Get a job or leave.
And that's the reason why I don't blame Niecy. I don't blame her, because even as harsh as grandma was to her, I was kind of like, wait a minute, because people don't get this lazy out the blue.
Yeah.
That usually it's because somebody has enabled them to be like that. So that's why I was like, hold up, grandma, the reason why your kids is like this is because of you. So you can't be mad
true.
at them because this is who you raised them to be.
Well, she has parents now too. Let's not forget, we can't go straight to
Right.
I feel like that's what grandparents are for, to come in with like the harsh reality.
swoop
'Cause
in if they need to be.
Right, because parents are sometimes too close. You know what I mean? They can't see outside. So I think her dad kind of was really, really laxed.
no, but their
and
dad lives with them too. So that's kind of like,
Therefore, leading by example.
that's what I'm saying. So of course, grandma, you let your son live with you for that long. What you think his kids gonna do?
But then again, her son, at one point in your life, you have to take responsibility for yourself, because
Right.
her son is a graduate of Morehouse.
Right.
So obviously you are well educated. What did you do with that degree?
Right.
So it's like, okay, I'm helping you, and I've given you a roof over your head for this many years. Now it's time for you to spread your wings and fly, honey. Like, why?
He did, and he stumbled. And that's why this is one thing that we need to do more as African Americans. We need to help our people when they are struggling.
Right.
And also give them a kick in the butt when they need it. Like, all cultures do this. They will live 10 to a 1-bedroom house so they can all be successful.
Right.
True.
Which is, we need more of that. It just needs to be a balanced combination. I'm glad that the parents are able to have multiple generations living under the roof, but they also need to start being self-sufficient. And maybe, it's a start. He's babysitting trailers right now, but at least he's not sitting at home playing video games.
And remember, he used to have businesses. He was into the club business, you know what I mean?
And
then
that's all more reason to be motivated to get that back. You already have the knowledge. You know the content. You know what to do. You need to do it now. Then his excuse, I bet, will be, well, I don't have the money. Well, I guess that's why he's babysitting trailers.
Which is, I think that's so, because remember last season, he hit up Mary Jane about helping him fund his own club. And of course, she was like, why would I give you money? That kind of thing. So I think he's trying, and I think he's, trying. He was down on his times. It happens sometimes.
Well, didn't he have a relapse?
Yeah.
So we don't even know where that stands as of yet.
So we'll see. There's some interesting stuff going on there. But of course, Niecy takes that MARTA with her kids, taking her babies on the MARTA train really late at night. Niecy, what you doing on MARTA? MARTA is not safe at night. And she calls Mary Jane. Mary Jane comes and picks her up like a good auntie. And I thought it was really cute how they had their banter back and forth about how grandma is. They
was imitating her.
Impressions were on point.
It was good. It was really good.
They was being Suge Knight, honey. Not Suge Knight.
No,
Suge Avery.
That's another African American
that we don't want to talk about right now.
Prayers going up for him. He might be in the hospital. So.
Oh gosh. Okay, so then I like to see the softer side of Mary Jane when she goes into the room, turns off the TV, and she sees the baby just awake on her mama's stomach, and she picks her up. It was the cutest moment.
It was very tender.
Yes,
very tender.
That's when she butt dialed David. Now, who would have picked up the phone and talked to David during that moment?
I would have been like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm literally butt dialing you. My bad."
Perfect freaking transition. It's like, oops, this is because you know how I'll like say I butt dial, but I really called.
Right. That's why
it's like literally this is an accident, and I'm like, seriously, no, it's an accident. What are you doing?
Right.
I'm like, that was the perfect time for her to actually talk to David and have a conversation instead of running to Val and Chris.
But she didn't want to have a conversation with him. She didn't even want to talk to him when Val and Chris when she was at their house. She just doesn't want to talk to him.
Right.
She doesn't
want information.
Right. She doesn't really want to know the truth. I think she would like, somebody tell me something. If she really wanted to know, she would have asked him.
That's true.
She doesn't want to know.
But obviously she does because he ended up at her hotel room.
Right. So let's talk about that. So of course, we see that Mary Jane has the final time of her asking Val and Chris about what's going on with David. Chris does what they should have done at Mary Jane's house. He calls David and was like, "You just talked to him. Now you're bringing a crazy to my house. We don't play that." And so, of course, she talks to David, and David tells her that the girl's pregnant. His girl is pregnant. She seems a little sad. Like, girl, you should have been asking
She said congratulations.
Right. Fate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she comes home, and, of course, Niecy's fighting with her dad, or they're having an argument, and they're talking, and she's just like, I don't want to be bothered with this. So she goes to a hotel, which I was like, I feel like that would be me. If I had money like that and, people are being loud, I'd be like, y'all can stay at my house. I'm going to go to the hotel and live it up tonight. Like,
she doesn't want to be bothered.
Right.
She's got her own stress that's on her shoulders right now.
Right. So then we see David there. Who thought it was a dream?
I did. Initially, I thought that it was a dream sequence.
Right.
But turns out it was not.
Well, no, because I remember saying, who should put on makeup for? She put some stuff on her face, and there was another plate at the table. And I was like, and there's candles lit.
Right.
So I was just like,
oh, you're very observant. Now I'm thinking, I was like, hold on, wait, you are so right, honey.
You connected all the dots.
You better. And she had to make sure that hair was under that shower cap. Make sure it stayed straight.
So I was like, that's why I was like, she's at a hotel. Who are we waiting for?
Right.
Which is messy in itself, because if you know this guy has a baby, has a girlfriend,
right,
why would you even light these candles? Why would you try and put any makeup on? Honestly, that's the best thing to do. Like, if you just want closure, invite him over. Don't put no makeup on. Put
Not to
your
a
hair in
hotel room either.
I mean, not to a hotel
Right.
room, but I mean,
I'll tell
even
you why.
if it was
Because
the house.
in your mind, you feel like you have control, and you can do this. No
Right.
matter what the arena, no matter what the circumstance, no matter what the setting, you feel like I got this. I'm gonna get closure this way, and I still want to look my best.
Of course.
So
Just
this
in
is
case
how
he
it's
wants me
gonna-
back.
Right.
Well, you just always want to look your best at all times. So they know what they're not having anymore. But
Right.
yeah, and you feel like, okay, I'm gonna get this closure. Let's done it. And then it never works out how you think you plan it.
And
Right.
it obviously did not
they-
because they almost did the hanky-panky.
They did. I thought they were going to go all the way. I was
Me
like, oh,
too.
they're about to do this. I cannot believe you, Mary Jane. Yet again, you're stealing somebody's man.
Wait, hold up, because Mary Jane did not make the first move. Who made the first move? David, low down,
It
dirty
doesn't
dog.
matter.
Yes, it does, because
They're both wrong.
I don't want to put too much of the negative attention on Mary Jane and her actions because David is just as wrong in the situation. Like you're over there, you know that you have a girlfriend, you know you have a baby on the way, or so, allegedly. Why would you even make the first move?
I think he's more wrong than her. I think he's more wrong because he has a situation. Mary Jane is single.
That's
You
true.
have no business even
But what I'm
going
saying,
to the hotel.
but what I'm
at
saying
all.
is, I think we're all responsible for our own actions. And so Mary Jane, like, she's already been in a situation where she was with a man who she didn't know was married, but then she found out he was married and kept messing with him. So if you know you have a history of being a homewrecker, sort of, why would you continue to do that? This man has somebody. For your own respect, for yourself, you should be like, you know what? You're not even. You still got somebody else. You need to
Right.
figure that out before you even come over here and touch my leg. Put your hand away, and though it feels
Yeah,
nice,
but okay,
don't touch my
Megan,
leg.
let me just say, if you were in that moment, because I'm going to be honest, I'll speak for myself. If I was in that moment, and this is someone who I love, this is the love of my life, allegedly, I want to be married to him, I want to have his kids, I was so close to having his baby,
Right.
it's probably going to go down like that. Like, I'm not... At least we're going to kiss or something. If we're that close and you have that chemistry, yeah, you have a girlfriend, but you don't want her.
Right, because and obviously
'Cause you're here.
he showed
Right,
up. Like,
right.
he shouldn't have been. He was wrong by even showing up.
And by him showing up, that lets her know or lets me know
There's still a
that
chance.
there's still something.
Right.
So I love you too, boo.
Oh,
So then, of course, they're making out, and they stop because Mary Jane was like, that should have been our baby. And it was a hurtful moment, you know, and he recognized she's hurt. And they just hug it out. That was sweet.
Yeah.
But she also revealed something, which was she had an abortion for David's baby. She had an abortion. And she says that David, you know, he said he didn't make her do it, but she said he didn't stop her.
which I think timing was the reason,
Right.
for everything. Which that happens.
And to me, it made sense more why she was so hurt by this. Because, of course, you're not together. He, you know, you did the guy dirty. Like, why would you be so hurt? And now I get it. Because she thought she was going to be the baby mom's, you know, the first mother of his child. And now she's not.
Have you guys ever been with a guy and then they got somebody pregnant and then it's just like, well, dang.
Right. When they were with you, they got somebody pregnant? Or like after you?
Afterwards, like it's
I'm like
over.
trying to think back on my personal life because that happened to me a couple of times. I'm like,
Oh
no,
my
3
gosh.
times.
Are you
and I'm
serious?
like, dang.
Hold on. Wally was with you?
After.
After. But
Okay.
it was like that great period where it's like, okay, we could potentially get back together.
Right.
But now you done sealed the deal because you have a baby on the way. And
Right.
that happened
It's
to
a
me
wrap.
3 times.
Oh, no.
Oh wow.
Maybe you should say congratulations
I think
to you.
that it's
That's
a
gift.
blessing.
That's a
You
gift,
know,
honey.
I dodged a bullet.
There you go.
I don't want to get.
That's never happened to me, but I feel like, that's never happened. If it has, it's probably some guy that I was like, oh. You were on the running anyway, so.
Right. I kept trying to think. I was like, has anyone had a baby? No, not that I can think of. But so yeah, they end up making out. They're done making out. She wakes up, and that's when I was like, hold on, is this a dream? She had a really vivid dream. But then we see the note from David, and it just says that he says, I'm sorry. And I'm glad that he did something like that. I'm glad he said, I'm sorry, because I think so many times, even as women, when we're hurt, we don't really want somebody to fix it. We just want to know that you really understand where we're coming from and that you really are truly apologetic about what happened. That's it.
See, I'm the type of woman. I'm like, you sorry about what? You need to give me a list, give me a rundown. I need closure again.
What?
Come back over.
You mean like a take 2 of what they already went through? And then,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
oh.
Because it's like, what are you sorry for? You're sorry because you came over and we kind of made out? Or are you sorry because all of this stuff has transpired and we're no longer together? Like, I need to know what you're sorry for. I want an explanation.
What did you think he was sorry for?
For coming over and leaving her to wake up by herself.
Is that what you thought, Fahnia? What did you think he was sorry for?
No, I thought it was all encompassing. Like, I'm sorry this isn't our baby. I'm sorry it didn't work out. I'm sorry that we didn't have a kid together. I'm sorry that we were on a break and then we were broken up and you were sleeping with somebody else and I got with somebody else and now she's pregnant and now I have this new life.
That's what I thought. I thought it was like, I'm sorry for hurting you. Because all of this encompassing stuff has hurt you tremendously.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
But then again, as women, we will, like, 24 hours later, we might have some questions like, well, what about that? And we will call and be like, wait a minute, on March 37th around lunchtime.
March 37th, though?
Yeah, right, is that crazy?
Is that crazy?
Right. So one of the things that I did want to talk about, MJ's professional life, she's still on top. You see that she's at work doing what she does best. And then, of course, her producer, Lisa Vidal is her real name, she tells her, she has this great idea. You should get your eggs frozen. What do you guys think about that?
I would do it.
I think I would do it too. If I do reach a certain age and I know that, the chances are not that great, I think I probably would. Why not? I don't see any harm in it.
I would do it just scientifically because your eggs are, when you're younger, your eggs are as young as you are. So they're smarter, they're sharper, they're vibrant.
You don't want no dumb eggs, huh?
Dumb kids.
I didn't say that now.
You don't want your dumb eggs, babies, huh?
I would prefer younger eggs as opposed to older eggs. So I do. I feel like she was right when she said it's like, it's the female insurance policy of this day and age. I agree.
I do have a question about that. So once your eggs are unfrozen, what happens?
Fertilize it with sperm.
But do you get pregnant or do you give it to somebody else?
It's like they can inseminate it in you, or they can put it in somebody else.
I mean, yeah, you can sell it to somebody if you want. That's
sell
like,
it,
girl.
But that'd be selling your baby.
No, you can insert it into. You can have like.
No, it's like surrogacy. If somebody is like they can't have children, they don't have viable eggs. You can they can pay you a fee to take your egg and put their sperm in it and then put it in somebody's body.
That's sad. That's
true.
kid.
People sell their eggs all the time.
You know what? I think it's so funny that some people have so many kids running around and they don't even know the guys who sell their sperm.
Right.
You have so many kids running around. You probably have 15,000.
Wasn't that a movie?
There is a movie. Yeah, that was this one guy had 90 kids or something. It was in the
Adam
news.
Sandler or somebody else that played the lead.
Sorry, guys, that was off topic.
Yeah, right, we digress.
Right. So yeah, she's gonna get her eggs frozen. I would have, especially if my company was paying for it, $15,000. You gonna pay to get these eggs frozen, honey? You better freeze them. You better put them in there like some freeze pops, honey. Freeze these eggs. So she's doing good with her job. So it'll be interesting to see because also I guess they want to take more of a tech route with the show. And so we also see that David has his tech, I guess, what is it? He has an African American travel site that he sold. So he's in the tech arena. So who knows? Maybe he's going to be on the show. I think he'll be on the show.
Possibly. Do you think what do you think it speaks to Mary Jane and where she is in her life that she's going on air for her job and freezing her eggs? Like, they would never ask a male to do something like that.
But they could be like, show us your vasectomy on air. That's kind of intrusive for
it wouldn't be
or your
vasectomy.
prostate.
It would be donating your sperm.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, like, let us bring cameras in the donation room with you. And I don't think they would ask a male to do that.
I think they would if he was willing to. But how many men are really trying to give their sperm at a sperm bank? Only guys who are looking for money, right? It's typically what
I don't know.
But I'm saying I don't think any guy would be doing it because then he'd be like, I think typically when guys do that, it's because they want the money that comes with donating sperm.
So it has nothing to do with age or not being able to not being at that stage of life where you're over 35 and you don't have kids, you're not married, so you have to do this because you don't have those things accomplished in life yet.
I don't think she was, but I think the reason why it was even brought to her was, hey, you're my homegirl, and I know you've been thinking about this. So why don't we do it on air? Let's put it on air.
I totally disagree with that. Only because I feel like her character, and I'm talking about Lisa Vidal's character, is an opportunist. And no matter who you are, what relationship you have with her, she will take advantage of you if she feels like she can sell this story and make a lot of money and get a lot of viewership. I think that this is something out of desperation. I don't think that Mary Jane is going to go through with it at the end of the day because it's embarrassing. Just to, piggyback off of what Fahnia was saying, it's like, it says a lot about your age and like not being accomplished and things of that nature. They can spin it that way. Not saying like that's what people who do that's just the bottom line. I'm not saying that at all, but it's a lot more to this story that I think we're going to figure out throughout this season. But I think Lisa Vidal, I'm sorry. Lord, we got, see, that's the homies. You know, that homies,
we know
that's
everybody's
why.
real. We got everybody's real name.
I feel like she's an opportunist, and she did this to just get viewership.
We shall see.
But keep in mind, that's her job. Her job is she'll lose her job if she doesn't have numbers.
The ratings.
But would you play your friend just to get numbers?
But I don't know if she's playing her. I think she's being honest with her. Like, look, you need numbers. They will snatch your show.
But no,
she
But Mary Jane knows
it
this.
to the other girl. She said, so-and-so did this at the other show, and it worked. Do you want to do it?
But I think that in the back of her head, she knows that Mary Jane will regret this one day. Oh. And if you were the homie, I would be like, you know what, okay, check this out.
Oh, you think she's being shady, low-key shady?
Yeah, okay.
I think she's like, I would be like, okay, check this out. This is what homegirl did over here. Would you be willing to do this now? You may grow to regret this. No. Her character was like, do this. Oh, I had a whole sheet of reasons that I was going to try and sell you to do this.
Right.
And she didn't really give her any pros and cons. She just was like, do it.
Well, I think because Mary Jane was easy with it. She's like, okay, yeah, I've been thinking about it.
But even if Mary Jane would have been reluctant, she already had, she was going to sell her on it anyway.
Right. But I think that's her job as the producer of the show to get Mary Jane to feed into what she does. She has to sell her stuff.
I would not sell out my friend for any amount of money. That's what's wrong with people nowadays.
You say that,
I
sister.
just don't think that it's just not really, you're not cultivating a really loving and long-lasting relationship if you're willing to make a couple of dollars off of a story.
Well, let's talk about some predictions then, honey.
What? Oh,
And now,
yes.
No one wants to talk to us.
I know. You
Okay,
guys have to...
one prediction, starting with you, Fahnia, what's up?
Let's see. I predict that Mary Jane and David are going to sleep together.
Again? She's sleeping with so many people. Okay.
I think it's going to be, oops, I did it again.
So, are we making predictions based off of what we saw for what we've seen for next week?
No,
or
whatever you want to do, the whole season or next week.
Okay, so I predict that, let me think of some. Oh, I don't think that David's girlfriend or live-in friend is pregnant.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I don't think that she is. I think that she's not going to be pregnant. And David and Mary Jane are going to kind of stir something up again. David's going to fall head over heels, but then a love interest is going to come into Mary Jane's life, and she's going to mess it up again with David.
Of course. I like that actually. I think that Mary Jane is going to end up with a whole different guy. Like he's just going to come out of nowhere and he's going to sweep her off her feet, and then she's going to have to choose between David coming back to her and this new guy who is amazing, whoever he is.
Well, if you guys want to know who he is, check out my interview with Mara Brock Akil on AfterBuzzTV.com. She spills all of the tea, and yeah, you'll find out who Mary Jane's new love interest is.
Yes.
Do you think Andre's going to be back?
I hope so.
so.
I love him.
We hope so.
Omari Hardwick, hello. So let's talk about, do we have some news and gossip?
We do. Well, I mean, it's just some shout out stuff. First off, shout out to every cast member on Being Mary Jane.
Yes.
They have a bunch of NAACP Image Award nominations. That's The Bomb, Gabrielle Union, Mara Brock Akil. Also, shout out to Miss Lisa Vidal. Congratulations on your magazine cover of The Next Big Thing.
Yay.
She is slaying the cover of that magazine.
She's so pretty.
She is gorgeous, darling. And let's see what else is going on. So, last time we were all together, Miss Union got married in August. So shout out to her.
Congratulations on that.
And she had With This Ring, which is a great movie that came out. And can we just say Mr. Union is like the bomb on Instagram today? He did a shout out to her. It was like, I'm going to be watching Being Mary Jane and these are my faces. Like, which is so true.
Right.
Like, were we not like making those faces at the screen tonight?
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Do you guys think that he watched it previous to tonight, or did he watch it with all of us?
I think he watched it previously.
Yeah, he's seen it before.
I
'Cause
think
she
it's
has a
screeners.
yeah. So he's probably seen the whole season.
I would have, if my spouse was like on a huge major hit show like this, I think I would have wanted to watch it like with everyone else.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if they had time, I don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
Of
Not the
course,
first
they're like
episode, right.
superstar, mega stars. They don't have time like us.
Right.
Also, check out the Being Mary Jane Instagram page, because if it's your birthday, they have a gift for you. So if your
Aw.
birthday's today, go there and get a gift. Let us know what it is, because
Yes.
I wish kind
Go
of.
tell them it's your birthday, then. How they know?
Well,
It's TTU's birthday.
Oh my gosh, Tiana! Yes.
We have to do it
Winning.
for her.
Okay.
Let's do it. Yes.
Okay.
So she can get some free stuff and
get
then give it to us
Yeah, I
too.
don't know what it is.
All right, where can we find you ladies at?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fahnia Thomas.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Ashley Gray TV. Check out my website, ashleygraytv.com. Shout out to Gabrielle Union for this amazing liquor vanilla pudding. Definitely go out and grab some. It's great.
Yes, and as always, you can find me, Megan Thomas, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Meg Scoop. Don't forget to check out my web series, Color People. Just search Color People TV on YouTube. Until next week, Being Mary Janers. We'll see ya.
But wait, you guys have to go to Instagram, YouTube, iTunes, like us, listen, rate us, comment, let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing not so right.
Bye, thumbs up.
Now, don't tell me that. And I'm just playing. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Season 2, episode 1.
Look at the camera. Let me-
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.